Going on, Rotogrinders? Dean here. It's Dean 78904. If you want to get all technical on me, it's gonna be 5:20 on the dot when you guys actually hear this. Slate.
Talk to me about chicken quarters.
It's 2:20 on the West Coast. It's 4:20 Tennessee
quarters.
time. Yeah. Okay. We're talking baseball. We got a 5-game slate, 4-game slate, depending on where you're shopping around.
Everyone knows all this information. They have a clock, and if they're tuned into this, they probably know these things.
You were talking about your lunch today was you had a lot of protein. You had chicken quarters. Oh, I'm on the clock. Hold on a second. Who did I just take?
What idiot drafts a best ball while we're on a podcast?
I just got auto drafted Freemuth. Oh, that's great. All right, he's going to be a stud for Pittsburgh, the tight end. You don't know about him just yet, Grant, but you will. Yeah. So how was your protein lunch today, Grant?
Chicken quarters are delicious. Threw them on the smoker. $2.75 for about an hour and 20. Boom.
Fabulous. We're going to be talking, of course, the baseball main slates. Well, there's two different slates. There's one on DK, there's one on FanDuel. DK is adding the Marlins and the Mets. Good times. So that one starts at 6:40. That's what kind of shuffled around our schedule. If you're kind of wondering, looking at the clock, as Grant confirmed, everybody has a clock or just a cell phone. You have a cell phone, right? That's how that works. I forgot to turn mine off. Hopefully,
I don't even carry a clock anymore. Oh man, that's really deep. Yeah, it's all on my phone here.
Flava Flav, I think, is the last guy that's still walking around with a clock.
I was quoting Paul Rudd from Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Oh, well, there you go. Delightful movie, isn't it?
Oh, fantastic. One of my favorites.
Grant, this is the rare moment. Just sucking and taking it. We agreed on something. How about that?
But you like Jingle All the Way too, so we agree on two things.
I don't like Jingle All the Way. Why would I like Jingle All the Way? I'm at 6.
Because it's the greatest Christmas movie of all time.
Eyes Wide Shut is the greatest Christmas movie.
Yeah, no one's ever seen that movie.
Nobody's. Yeah, Tom Cruise. Who's that? Never heard of him.
I don't know.
But Sinbad.
Oh, that's the guy from Tropic Thunder.
It is the guy from. It's not the. Yeah, he looks a little different in Tropic Thunder.
I think more people know Arnold Schwarzenegger than know Tom Cruise.
I know, but I was just doing a thing. Hey, here's the thing. It's not a shenanigans-free show. There's going to be a lot of shenanigans if you guys haven't pieced it together. What up, everybody in the chat? Do like, do subscribe, do turn on notifications. We're going to be talking the baseball main slate. Grant, I talked to you pre-show. We're going to have time. I think we're going to have time. We probably can dabble if, what the nonsense we're talking about so far. A little bit of showdown. Of course, there is a main showdown show that comes on at 7:15 tonight. Is that correct, Evan? 7:15? I believe so. 7:30. There you go, 7:30. In between that, if you guys are premium members, that's when Crunch Time goes down. Crunch Times have moved forward as well, again, because of the way the baseball slate is going. DK starts at 6:40. FanDuel starts at 7:05, 7:07, something like that. So that's the reason why we're on early. All right, there you go. Got that out of the way. Grant, we're stalling because this baseball slate, look, I'm not a phony. I'm not a fraud. I'm a lot of things, but not those. Well, no, I'm a lot of things, but not those. Yeah, I mean, the level of enthusiasm. The football season starts tonight. This is a 4-gamer, a 5-gamer. We're going to start talking pitchers in a second. Now I'm playing this slate, did the research and all that, but excitement level a little bit down as far as this baseball slate, right? Are you with me on this, or are you just enthused at all times? That protein lunch got you going.
Don't care about baseball. I'm here for football. I am playing baseball, and I have researched baseball a lot. And I've been up since 7 a.m. I had a cup of coffee for the first time in a month. I can't stop bouncing around.
Do you go to the Starbucks, or you make it at home, or what?
No, I got an espresso because I'm fancy and stuff.
Oh, wow. Look at that. Is it you that has an espresso, or like your fiance has an espresso?
We both had one. I had to get rid of mine.
Hers was better than yours.
Less counter space. She likes a tidy counter.
Yeah, you know what? It's underrated.
Not me. I like to have my entire counter covered in appliances.
I
like convenience. So I want to have my air fryer out. I want to have my Nespresso out. I want to have a microwave there. I want to have a toaster oven. I want to have a toaster because, you can't always put like bagel bites in a toaster. You have to put them in the toaster oven. I like to have my Keurig in case I'm not feeling fancy enough for an espresso. Sure. I like to have my blender there and my magic bullet. Sometimes I need less than a full blender full, so magic bullet works great.
Lives with you?
No, that would unless he's hiding somewhere. I doubt he could get away hiding anywhere.
No, he's kind of loud. He's got that New York.
You just kind of hear when you're sleeping whispers of play whatever you want. Why does he sound like a parrot when I say it?
Well, I think that's pretty close. It's like I'm not good at impersonations, but I feel like that's like the easiest one to do. Is it not?
Just play him. Yeah, I don't know why he's slowly changed into Joe Latuglio's character from I Love You, Man.
Wow,
that's awesome. This is awesome.
That is a very, very specific reference. I get it. And that's two. Are we trying to guess as many Jason Segel movies? How many references we can get in the show? Because that's Paul Rudd as well. He's in both, right? Both movies have references.
Yeah.
Rudd and
they're good buddies. They're good buddies. You know who else is good buddies with him?
Who's that?
Seth Rogen.
I've heard of him.
All the way back from what was that? Was it Freaks and Geeks? Yeah.
In fact, the greatest show of all time that only went one season.
Yeah, no, I don't know. It's up there. I don't know if it's number one. I can't say that definitively, but it's definitely probably top three at least, maybe number one.
Could the chat give me a better answer in the chat? Tell me the better show of all time that only went one season, because if the show's good, it's not going to get canceled. But yeah, I mean that was Judd Apatow, of course. That was Seth Rogen. Cardellini was in it. Franco was in it as well. Hey, let's talk baseball. The chat's probably getting restless. I don't have my eyes up.
Did you ever see The Get Down?
Who's in The Get Down?
I have no idea. It was on Netflix in 2016. Okay. I don't know. I just looked it up and that got number one. Bunheads is number 3. Firefly.
For what? What's the ranking? Oh, greatest one episode, one season shows?
Undeclared. Yeah, Undeclared was kind of the sequel to Freaks and Geeks.
That was also Judd Apatow, yeah.
Yeah. Did you like it? I liked it.
I didn't watch it. I know I'm told it's good, but I've never seen it.
All right. Man, yeah. Looking at the list of one season shows, yeah, they really do pick up good things generally. These are all terrible. The Trophy Wife, The Terriers, Life as We Know It, Awake.
I just got autographed at Teddy Bridgewater. Feed. Oh, what? I just threw away $20. I could not figure out. I did a very poor job realizing the time of, I have to go on air and do a job, and maybe I thought I could squeeze this in, but unfortunately not. I'm throwing away some money. I figured I'd get one more best.
The People versus OJ.
Well, that's great.
Number 22.
Well,
who made this list?
It was FX, and they couldn't have. It was just one season because it could only be one season.
The Grinder was 24. That was a solid show.
I don't know what The Grinder is. The Grinder?
It's with Rob Lowe and Fred Savage.
Oh yeah, it was a Fox show. Yeah, I didn't see it.
I enjoyed it. It wasn't great. It wasn't terrible. It was fun.
The chat is throwing out some questions. You want to talk some baseball?
I mean, I figured we'd waste the first 10 minutes with people who didn't know about the time change.
That's a good point. We have plenty of time to kill, and people are still kind of sort of working their way in here. And again, we'll touch on the Dallas Tampa showdown slate later on tonight. I believe it's STL Cards is going to be on the show at 7:30. I don't know if it takes you all the way up the lock. I think it takes you up the lock or close up the lock.
Yeah, just hard out at lock.
And in between that, of course, is crunch time for baseball. Yeah, I mean, there's so little to say as far as this baseball slate. The pitchers are all sort of mad. The stacks are all more or less, I don't want to say the same, but like the number 1 stack and the number 8 stack are kind of sort of basically the same, right? I mean,
no, the Baltimore is by far the best, and then everyone else.
You have a Baltimore? You're talking the Orioles?
The Orioles is correct, not the Ravens. They got bad knees.
Oh, the Ravens, man. That is it's if you're a running back for Baltimore, well, it's tough. Cards is gonna be in a bad mood. What? Still Cards. Fun fact, not fun, but a fact. He's a St. Louis guy, but he's a fan of the Baltimore Ravens. How does that work out? That's the way it is.
I mean, what football team does St. Louis have right now?
Well, they had, I'm sure at some point, like he was,
you're able to the rules on when your team leaves your town, you're allowed to entirely disown them, and you are allowed to adopt a new team that did not make the playoffs the prior year. That's the rules.
That's the rules?
That's the rules.
So it has to be a non-playoff team. It can't be like, you can't be, I'm going to be a Chiefs fan.
You can't like, you definitely, no Super Bowls in the last 3 to 4 years. Not making the playoffs is not a hard line. Like, it can be like a barely made the playoff situation, like the Miami Marlins last year.
Oh yeah, they did make the playoffs, didn't they? I totally forgot that.
Yeah, I bet them at 100 to 1. Dollar right down the drain.
Worst dollar you ever spent. Worst $20 I ever spent was this best ball. I just got auto-drafted again. Why am I not paying attention, Grant?
Because you suck.
All right, let's talk about the slate tonight. You got to roster 2 pitchers on DK. DK, again, they start at 640. They include the Mets and they include the Marlins, and that's why we're excited to roster. I mean, at least you get the roster Marcus Stroman, and you get to pick on those terrible Marlins. 9.4K Marcus Stroman on a regular slate with 14 or 15 games. You're not terribly enthused. Stroman is not this amazing pitcher, but like, especially from a DFS perspective. But, he's serviceable. It's pretty good. The Marlins, pretty terrible. The pitching environment, really positive.
What's going on in your house?
It's raining. Yeah.
Oh, it sounds like someone's moving a water cooler.
Is that what it sounded like? Yeah. The rain has a way of just, kicking in right when I go on air. So my apologies for that. Is it really annoying? Should I mute myself when I'm not talking?
Nah, I don't care. I just was wondering. I don't know. Chat tells if Dean's annoying and if he should mute himself the rest of the show.
Well, it's not just because of the rain, I'm sure. Yeah. So DK specific, you get the roster 2 pitchers. Are we starting? I think Stroman's the best place to start. And full disclosure, I'm not playing cash games tonight. Not messing with that. Just playing some tournaments because why am I going to play cash? And also earlier there was some potential rain issues, and we want to see what Roth has to say if he clarifies that as the night goes on. Talking about Stroman.
Stroman's the top overall play on the slate. And pitcher, it's not even remotely close. He gets a matchup versus Miami. So best matchup and best ballpark. You can easily afford him on today's slate. Not really any question about it. Over on DK on FanDuel, obviously can't play him. Things become a little bit more muddied. So Stroman, top overall play. Ownership's really high, but he's not a huge upside guy, but his upside is actually probably higher than anyone else's. His floor is about everyone else's upside. So it's just a safe enough spot where you can let other people make mistakes. Yes, there's a chance that he ends up imploding, but more than likely going up against Miami, who's a high strikeout team, and being in a ballpark where you're probably not going to give up a ton of home runs, you just hammer him in. And I like the strikeout over 4.5 for Stroman.
That's it? Just 4.5? That's a low number.
I mean, Stroman's a low strikeout pitcher, but he's actually hit this. And I think 4 straight starts pretty easily. He's got a great strikeout matchup. So the last one he got 2, but 5, 6, 9, 8, 5 in the last 6 starts. Boom. This is an easy over for a easy opponent. He's been a little bit wild over the last month, not going to lie, but I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that he's seen Washington 3 times and they actually walk at a pretty heavy rate. And then the Dodgers and San Francisco, obviously a fantastic team. So the strikeouts, I believe them. The walk rate, don't really believe, but Miami, they don't walk. They ain't patient. They're like me at a buffet line.
What kind of line is that again?
A buffet.
What's your favorite buffet? Do you have like a favorite, like a chain buffet? Are you a big fan of Cece's?
I used to be a huge Old Country buffet fan when I was younger. I have 3 large brothers, and we used to just go there for family dinners because it had something for everyone. And, just hammer down like 3-4 pounds of mac and cheese. And you know what? I'm good.
I'm taking a peek at the old Plate IQ, seeing Stroman against this Marlins lineup. Spoiler alert, the Marlins lineup is terrible. They lost Aguilar. He's on the IL, so from actual power potential, he's not there. Plenty of Ks in this lineup, like you mentioned. They're weaker catchers. Sandy Leon's catching. Not patient at all. Strikes out a ton. And 140 at bats. Leon 3.8% as far as walks and 33% as far as strikeouts. And his ISO is 0.092. Like, he's one of the worst hitters in baseball. Just terrible. Just brutal. So there's the mush play of the day. Sandy Leon, have at it. If you want to play some Sandy Leon, by all means, go for it. And just collectively 24.3% as far as the Ks as well. And just, it's all red. If you pull it up, it's dummy proof. Even the idiots like us can look at this and be like, yeah, red is bad. Red is bad. A little bit of green. Sanchez has some power. He's interesting, I suppose. You want to have like a one-off, or and of course you can do a stack if you want to, by all means, in like an MMA 150 you're running. I guess, sure, why not? But Sanchez is probably my favorite one-off, or Chisholm. I know we're not talking hitters, but just figure kind of throw it out there.
Let's talk the best pitcher on the slate.
Were you serious when you said Senzatella was your guy to me, or you just joking around with me?
I mean, if we're talking like ownership not included, no, it's Suarez. Like Suarez gets a matchup versus the Rockies. The Rockies ain't good. But Senzatella, we have pegged at 3% ownership. Senzatella's pitching on the road. We know him as not a high strikeout guy, and the Phillies aren't a terribly high strikeout lineup. But we look at his last 2 starts away from Coors, 5 and 6 strikeouts, then one versus Houston, 3 strikeouts. Prior to that, he had 6, 5, 5, 5 strikeouts. 2 of those were in Coors. He's not a huge strikeout guy, but he's kind of turning into that more, and he knows how to eat up innings. If you ever consider playing a guy like Dallas Keuchel, why wouldn't you consider Senzatella?
Not since like 2014. I've been considering.
I know, but okay, who's a very low strikeout pitcher that we still sometimes play?
Well, Wainwright, Greinke, but yeah, those are better guys.
Greinke's a comparable one. Can go late into the game, doesn't strike out a ton, but Senzatella's actually been striking out guys on the road at a pretty decent clip over the last 10 starts. People haven't been noticing, but over the last 4 starts, Atlanta, Dodgers and Coors, Cubs and Coors, San Diego, Houston, 16, 27, 19, 11, and 7.5. You're looking at a 5-game slate where everything's trash or incredibly high owned. Ranger Suarez, we have pegged for 35% ownership.
Even the incredibly high owned stuff is kind of sort of trashy, though. But again, the slate is the slate.
Yeah, I know. That's why Senzatella at 3% ownership. What are the odds Senzatella outscores both Suarez and Means?
The odds of that, 12%.
All right, sounds good. Making a beer bet?
No, I mean, I don't have a lot of conviction. I don't know if you couldn't tell from my body language and my delivery.
You know what? All right, how about you take this one? Senzatella outscores Stroman.
I mean, he's probably not. Yeah, he's not going to outscore Stroman. Is this going to be paid off on Monday night? We do Monday night football?
Will be paid off on Monday night.
There you go. What are we doing Monday night?
Probably drinking.
Well, okay, but if anybody's out, there's people that are watching the conversation.
That was a real question. Yeah, no, live betting show. We're going to be betting on things on Monday night's football. You know what? Who's even playing Monday night? I haven't even looked into it.
Baltimore. I don't know who's going to be the running back at that point, but Baltimore, I believe, is playing somebody. The Bears, and the Bears play Sunday night.
Bears.
I can't remember. I don't know. It's DFS. All we care about is today and today only, right? I don't really know. They're not in the main slate, so I haven't really put a
Oh, they're talking about CC's Pizza. Never actually had it.
Yeah, I mentioned it 3 minutes ago. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, we both know that I don't listen when you speak.
Oh man. All right. So I have Stroman versus Senzatella. Well, you mentioned Ranger Suarez, and we talk about, like, have you seen his ground ball rate this season? Ranger Suarez in 72 innings. Still, I mean, now I'm just kind of leading the question.
I guess it's 68%.
It's fabulous. It's not 68, but it's 63.3%. That is incredible. And his barrel percent is 2.7%. So he's at the lowest barrel percent in the slate. He's got the highest ground ball rate on the slate.
You know who leads the league in barrel percentage?
I don't know.
Corbin Burns.
Okay, that makes sense. That checks out.
Yeah, he good.
He is very good. And Suarez grabbing a bunch of Ks as well, 25% Ks. He did leave last game with like a tightness in his arm, that's not ideal, right? But I wouldn't think that they would roll him out there if he wasn't fine. That they're still battling for a playoff spot in Philly. Have you heard the Rockies are terrible, especially outside of Coors Field?
They're not good.
Yeah, but that's, like you said, he's going to be super chalky. On DK, it's probably going to be Stroman and Suarez. Like, those are the first 2 people you're going to roster on FanDuel. Suarez is going to be pretty popular as well, where you don't have the option of Stroman. You don't have the option of Luzardo if you want to go that route on DK. What are your thoughts as far as Luzardo? He had a good game. It happens on record. He's still been rough this year, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't fully trust him. I mean, if we're getting him at very low ownership, but we're not. Again, this is a slate where why would I play a guy like Luzardo, who legit might end up with -6 if I can play Senzatella, who's going to get 20?
He's not going to get 20. You're just looking to survive pitching. I think that's
no. I think he legit gets 20.
Okay. I mean, 20 is fabulous. I don't expect to go 20.
Look at his he's averaging over 20 his last 3 starts.
Okay, but like, what would Derek Hardy say? WWDCS.
He'd probably say, play him, just play him.
No, that would be
in this scenario. He's doing it.
Derek Hardy, I said, not Blender. 2 different guys. I don't know if you have a Cardi impersonation in your arsenal. You probably don't.
Sample size. Lefty mashers don't exist.
I need 20 years of data before I can determine if this guy's good or not. And then we get reverse engineering 20 years later. All right, so Luzardo he's 6.7K on DK. I think it's just worth acknowledging. He's in a great ballpark, but he's been horrific this year. Probably the worst pitcher on the slate so far this season. I mean, his ERA, if you care for ERA and things like that, it's 7 in 72 innings. That is a monster number. The Sierra is 4.81. That's bigger than anybody else as well. And of course, the homers per 9.
Sierra is also married to Russell Wilson. Fun fact for you that you probably didn't know.
Mr. Unlimited?
Is that his nickname?
You never seen that video before? It's amazing.
I've never watched TV.
Oh, well, no, it's on the interwebs.
Never been on it.
Yeah. Well, you're on it right now, actually. You personally are on the internet. You know, this is not just us two talking, right? You're aware of this?
What?
Yeah, I know. This is strange.
I thought the internet was for nerds.
Well, I'm wearing glasses, so it checks out. Mr. Unlimited. You never seen that video before, Russ? You don't know what I'm talking about?
I probably have. It doesn't register in my life anymore.
Yeah, he's kind of nerdy, by the way. Like Russ is which is fine. But I think he comes off kind of like, he's great. I like Russ. All right. Other pitchers that are worth Yanoa's throwing baseballs for Atlanta. He's a little bit.
Isn't it in now?
No. Isn't it what now? I don't think so. No. He's in the mix. Like I don't have a strong conviction like you have on Senzatella. But if I land on Yanoa, so be it. He's probably not the first guy I want, but I would let ownership reflect in a lot of spots here, which is something I don't normally do when it comes to pitchers. Pitchers, I just want my guys for the most part. Let's see, 52% ownership for Stroman, 41% for John Means. This is DK. You didn't piece that together. Suarez 35, Yanoa 23, Carlos Hernandez 22, Luzardo 18. By the way, Senzatella we haven't projected for 3%. So, hey, okay. Lock in Senzatella there, Grant.
Yep, all in. I'm actually not all in. I have like 50% of them.
I'm not playing Eric Fetty.
Fetty, wow.
Yeah, that's not happening for me. Cortez, I'm not playing Cortez. Barrios is probably the most talented, arguably the most talented pitcher in this slate. Tough matchup with New York. Of course, New York's going to offer some Ks as well. What are you doing with Barrios?
Not playing him.
So we have a New York lineup. I'm trying to see if we can find right now as far as the Yankees. I don't think we do we? No, yeah, we do. Oh, Gardner's leading off again because it worked yesterday. He homered.
Gosh, I'm still angry about that.
Like you have the ability to decide, like, who do we want to hit the most out of all these guys? We want it to be Brett Gardner, and he was.
I had
right.
the choice between what was it, DJ Stewart and Brett Gardner.
Oh, yeah.
I chose DJ Stewart, or I can't remember. Maybe it was Senzatella. I don't know.
You chose poorly. That's an Indiana Jones reference for the kids out
really?
There. Yeah.
It's also a How I Met Your Mother referencing Indiana Jones.
You're a liar. You said you've never watched TV. That's from the TV. I'm told.
Wait, what's a TV?
Yeah, television. I just shortened it because I don't have a lot of time for these.
No. See, I don't understand acronyms.
Yeah, fair enough. That's not an acronym. I don't believe it's not. I think it's a poor. That's not an acronym, is it?
TV Devin's television.
Guy. Devin, is that an acronym? Oh,
yeah.
Judges say yes.
The man who taught our youth. Everyone.
He said pretty sure, by the way. There's not a lot of conviction behind that. I'm not sure if that's. Oh well, who knows? Gardner, Judge, Rizzo, Stanton, Torres, Gallo, Sanchez, Wade, and Urshela. There you go. That is the lineup facing Barrios. Why no interest in Barrios? Just you're afraid of the Yankees?
Yeah. Barrios hasn't been great. You're not getting a terribly high amount of upside. I'm guessing they're still going to be owned. We currently haven't projected. Oh, only 5%. That's too low. He'll be owned more than that, just based on name recognition. He's going up against a tough Yankees lineup. He could in a tough ballpark. I mean, why would I go with him when I could go with Senzatella?
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah. If Senzatello's the guy you're married to, like, and he's the one that you're low on guy, then so be
And
it.
he's the highest scoring pitcher on the slate.
Can we lock at him for like a beer bet? Can I, scratch the last one and pick this one up? Because he's not going to be the high. That's outrageous what you're saying.
I mean, we can add another beer bet.
I'm going to have you double fisting it because I want you to.
One of us is going to be double fisting.
There you go. Well,
it's going to be. I mean, the best case scenario is we both get a chug together when he outscores Stroman, but isn't the highest scoring.
I suppose that's plausible. We have to acknowledge Means. We haven't really talked about Means, but again,
he's heavily owned. He's fine. I don't have any problem with him. He's got pretty decent raw projections. He's a solid overall play. The problem is currently got projected for over 40%. People are going to use them. That's why I'm stacking up the Royals.
So you're stacking that entire game, it sounds like.
Yes. Worked very well last night.
What they scored 9 runs? I was on air. I was doing something. I had no idea that Kansas City lost that game. I was like, what happened?
It was incredible. Like they were being shut out. I'm like, darn, I'm gonna lose money. And then I think they had like a 6 or 7 run. Let's see. I'm gonna check it out because I've got this thing called the internet I've never been on.
Yeah, you're a big liar.
9 in the bottom of the 8th. Beautiful.
How does that happen? Yeah. By the way, it's 70 degrees in Baltimore. That seems kind of cool. I don't know if that's we have a weather.
That's not warm. That is not warm, sir.
Correct. The weather, by the way, Roth did updated. I dropped it in chat for the people earlier. It looks better in New York. Well, wait, hold on a second. I thought he tweeted out to look better. Let me get a refresh in this. He did update this. Okay, I'm hitting the refresh now. Let's see. Philadelphia is now green, yellow, and New York is also green, yellow. So it looks much more appealing. Take Ross' word for it later on crunch time. Crunch time starts, I believe, at 6:20. Takes you guys up to lock, into the DK lock, and then they'll talk FanDuel. Good times for sure. Get yourself $10 off the first month of RG Premium. If you want to watch such things as crunch time, you want to be able to use the Plate IQ at your own leisure, the Slate IQ at your own leisure. $10 off for all the sports as well. If you want to grab some football, college football, NBA, not too far away, NHL, all the other sports. The link is in chat. Everything with the exception of NASCAR is in that all-encompassing package. Give me a summary as far as pitchers. Again, you like Senzatella. I do not. I like the Philly side, and it's to be clear that you like it because nobody's playing him, and you don't think he's the best pitcher, obviously, but you're embracing variance.
Yes, I am embracing variance, and I honestly really don't have much lower than Ranger and Means, so it just makes the obvious choice to be Senzatella. Realistically, he's played well recently, but if you want a chalky guy, Means, Suarez, or to a lesser extent, Luzardo, all solid option. Stroman's lock mode. Stroman you just put in there like that.
You're just playing him. You're embracing that. You know he's going to be heavily owned and you don't care because, you have the money. It's whatever.
I do have some Ranger Suarez, but I'd have no John Means. I do have money on his over on strikeouts.
What's the number?
4.5.
There you go. I'm good with that. I'm okay with that 4.5.
And I think it's at plus 100 now.
You got it in early, I suppose.
No, it's at plus 100 still, I think.
Hey, Grant, where could people find your picks? I know you're good at picking player props. If I were to be watching the show, there are people watching on the interwebs, the thing you've never been on before. How would they know where to find your picks?
Scoresandodds.com.
Great sales pitch.
Up 60 units almost on the season. I've been sitting right around even for the last 2 weeks after just going on a massive tear. But I've also had a lot of it. I don't know why this year, or in this last month. Maybe it's because it's the end of the season. It's actually not even because it's the end of the season. I've had the weirdest injuries. Brett Anderson twice. Once he got nailed with a line drive in the shoulder.
You bet Brett Anderson over on strikeouts. So it was like 2.5.
Yeah, 2.5. He got 2 in the first 3 innings. Then got hit by a line drive, and they yanked him right before 3. Another one, I bet the over on hits at 4.5. He messed up his hip running over to first base at 4. It's just, and then Scooball gets hit in the hand, and they let him pitch for 4 innings just to toy with my emotion. He struck out 4, and then they yank him right before he was about to get to 5.
Well, I think it came out that they were only going to throw Scooball for 3 innings. I think that was the plan. That was I don't think it was known, but they said that at some point during the broadcast, I want to say.
Really? Those.
Yeah. I mean, obviously that's not helpful now or then because you're already locked into your bet, but I think that was actually Detroit's plan. And they've been baiting him throughout the season. What's the point?
I mean, he's still been pitching a decent amount of pitches. Like, oh gosh.
Just be aware of that going forward, just so you know. I don't know if he pitches tomorrow or the next day. I haven't looked, but do you want to mention before we start talking some stacks and
someone mentioned my Eovaldi pick last night. How'd that go?
That went really well. But Eovaldi was the problem with the Eovaldi pick, and it's not a problem, but you were playing Eovaldi instead of Darvish, who crushed, instead of Montez, who crushed, or two of the three. So it didn't really matter because all three did good, but it was still a good pick.
Well, who had the most points?
I don't know. I mean, it's cool. It was they all did
Eovaldi
really well.
Is the answer. I got 1.6 more points than Darvish.
I think it depends what site it was on, to be honest. Because he didn't get the win. I don't know. They all did well. All three did well. But it was a great.
They're the only three pitchers I played, so it really didn't matter.
Yeah, I had him in my best Yahoo lineup last night. There you go. All right. Do you want to mention before we start talking stacks and fire off some questions there in chat? We're going to be entertaining those soon enough. Devin is compiling them. He'll be joining the show. And if you want to ask some showdown questions, Grant, are you prepared to answer some showdown questions for the NFL tonight?
I guess.
Okay, there you go. That was some enthusiasm. Of course, baseball questions as well. Do you want to mention Prize Picks? Prize Picks, use the promo code Grinders with your very first deposit for a 100% deposit bonus up to $100. And we also, in addition to that, if you don't like a $100 deposit bonus, here's the thing, Grant. I don't know if you think this is going to happen or not tonight, but if you get a $50, you get $50 if Tom Brady, 47-year-old Tom Brady, completes a pass tonight. If you use the promo code RGNFL, do you think he's going to complete a pass?
I think he may. It reminds me of last year when he played the Saints, and he had those 4 interceptions. And I was playing a guy in season long because everyone likes to talk about that, and he was winning by 0.3 points. It was looking like I was going to win at halftime. I'm like, just yank out Tom Brady now, and I get the win, one of the greatest wins I would ever see. And he ended up getting 2 points. So yeah.
In my experience, people love season-long bad beat stories. It's it's amongst the it's on the Family Feud board of greatest stories that people love to hear. Or you have any poker stories where you lost somebody where you should have won?
I went all in blind. And I lost
probably
money.
should. Well, you shouldn't have won when you go all in blind. You weren't a favorite when you do that.
I do that pretty often. It works out pretty well. People always get angry with me at home poker games because I just get so bored, and they're like, "This is just ruining the game," because people generally don't have a whole lot of confidence in that. So they I'll just take the minimums while I'm just playing out of boredom, and then someone will lose a big pot to me when they when they flip over. Oh yeah, I got jacks, and then I flip over king queen and get double suited pair off a flop. They're like, you shouldn't have won that. I'm like, no, but I did.
Explain to them about sample sizes and variance and all that. All right, so stacks. Who we stacking up tonight? I'm pulling up our consensus value rankings as far as stacks, and Atlanta is the best stack. They have the biggest team total. It makes a lot of sense. Kansas City second, Baltimore third. So you're right on it as well. Just skipping Atlanta. Then Philadelphia, Toronto, the Mets, and the Yankees. That's what we have as far as our consensus rankings. Hey, you did some rankings today as well. You're the only one that ranked You're the only one that put the Yankees in there. That's kind of interesting.
I mean, it's more of a leverage thing, and I mean, I'm not even playing them. I just had to throw a fifth in on a 4 or 5 game slate.
Yeah.
So I mean, the Yankees going up against Barrios, no one's going to play him outside of Gardner, who's probably going to hit a bomb because he hates me. Yeah, no, it's just it's a low on stack with a few cheap pieces and Rizzo and Torres. So it's not that hard to get things. Gallo's not too expensive. Sanchez isn't too expensive. It's not a terrible stack. And if I were playing more and I were playing big field tournaments, I'd probably have a decent amount of them. But I'm just rolling out a few lines because right after this show is done, right after DK locks, I'm going straight into gambling large amounts of money on football.
As far as live the site today, the single game, you're gonna bounce back and forth and play the results against each other and just shop your.
No, I'm just gonna sit and watch it. I don't have the energy for that. That really takes it out of me. So
yeah,
the fact that we got a show, at least it gives me a reason, and I'm not just sitting there doing it by myself and destroying my brain.
You're gonna play some showdown slates though, right? You gotta throw a couple lineups out there just for fun.
Oh yeah. I'm probably playing a decent amount over on Super Draft. Let's see. There, I know they're not the sponsor of our show, but I think
might have some overlay. I wouldn't be surprised.
I can almost guarantee they threw out a 50K competition. It's currently about not even 60% full.
Yeah.
So I might max enter it because that's what I do.
The thing is, though, with Showdown, it's like, well, you can't make, you're not supposed to make good lineups because everybody can make good lineups and everybody's going to dupe your good lineups. So it's like, make the good enough lineup that nobody's going to have. Like,
it's a little bit different on Super Draft because you can play anyone you want.
Oh, okay.
Because it's got multipliers, so you can actually listen to Blender.
Yeah. I'm surprised you didn't do the voice there when you said that.
Just play whoever you want. Just play him.
How is he not the sponsor or the voice of Super Draft? I don't know. It worked out perfectly. Hey, let's talk tonight's stacks. Atlanta's the number one stack. They have the biggest team total on the board. They're facing Fetty, who's not horrific.
Fetty Wap.
5.7 is a team total as far as Atlanta. Usual suspects are in the lineup. Well, no Darno Boats in there for what it's worth, but otherwise really, really solid. Last night, I don't know if you caught the game last night, but the starting pitcher for Washington, who I thought was going to get his face punched in, was throwing at Freddie Freeman. He was retaliating for Soto getting hit the previous night, and he threw it behind him the first time. He screwed up, and in the second time he nailed him. And like, okay, we know what's going on here. And they just kicked him out, and then all of a sudden the Braves got shut down. That bullpen worked hard. They worked hard the day before too. So that Washington bullpen has been working hard the last 2 days. Today it's Fetty against Atlanta. Talk to me about the Braves.
The Braves are the top stack on the slate in terms of raw points. While I do prefer Baltimore based on ownership, considering how heavily on the Braves are, I am probably going to be using a decent amount of Braves. Currently, I have 3 lineups. I might add more. I might not. I don't know. Again, I've been up since 7 a.m. looking at football and baseball, so I'm just exhausted. Yeah. But Braves, like, just a solid stack all the way up and down. Not going to argue with a single guy. Fetty's really not great. He's been better recently, but they're playing in one of the better ballparks on the slate. Fetty's not even he's probably average on the slate, to be honest, but the Braves are just a much better lineup than most of the teams on this slate. So the Braves just play all the hard hitting guys and hope that they take them deep.
If you're a BBP guy, there's one. I just always, on like a 3 or 4 or 5 game slate, I'll just look, these are things I'll look at. I'm trying to find something that might be kind of sort of somewhat interesting, but maybe it's nothing. But Adam Duvall, 12 official plate appearances, 7 base knocks, 2 doubles, 2 dongs. Only struck out once against them, and Duvall strikes out
2 dongs. I believe that's a medical condition.
Yeah, well, I got a guy. If you need
I got a butcher
after the show. Yeah. There you go. If you're team EVP, Adam Duvall is kind of sort of someone interesting. But you're right. Like, Fetty's not great, but he's basically an average pitcher on this slate versus contemporaries. He gets ground balls 49.5% on the season. And the Ks aren't putrid, 21.2, which is fine. Again, biggest K rate on this slate, I believe, is Noah at 26.4. Oh, I got to get an NFT. Cool.
Oh gosh.
Talk to me about was there any other stacks you want to talk about specifically? I'm sure we're going to play a stack game in a second when Devin comes on. Do you want to save it for Devin? Is there anything else you want to point out as far as your stacks?
Kansas City, fantastic stack. I know that Perez and Mondesi, are going to be very heavily owned, but everyone else is going to be mostly unowned. Going up against Mean, who's going to be heavily owned. It just makes sense to stack him up because, even if Means doesn't go that late into the game, or if he does go a little bit later into the game, that bullpen behind him is just terrible. So good ballpark team. They just put up 9 runs last night. Just stack up the Royals. Just stack them.
Does it bother you that it's not the best? It's a great ballpark, but just the weather is not perfect there. We prefer 90 degrees there, which happens sometimes. But
yeah, I prefer it, but it's a 5-game slate.
Yeah, that's Atlanta's probably the best hitting environment. Philly's pretty good as well too. Well, it's 70 degrees in Philly. It's 76 in Atlanta. I guess it's cooling off all across the country, I suppose. Or a cool wave. Is a cool wave a thing? I know heat wave's a thing. Is cool wave
cold front?
Cold front. That's why I'm not the chief meteorologist here at Rotogrinders.
That's why I'm the secondary meteorologist.
You are. You're miscongeniality. If the number one person cannot fulfill their duties, you're right there to step in.
Dean, let's do some positional real quick. Knock out some around the horn.
Oh God!
The people are asking for it, Dean. They want their cash breakdown.
All right, you want my cash breakdown? Boom, Stroman. Boom, Suarez. Boom. Probably vote if you can pay it for Perez, you take him, but it's going to be a little bit tough. First base, I currently prefer Montcastle. If you can get up to Freeman, you take him, but it's going to be tough to do. Albies at second, the obvious option. Third, Mondesi. Short, probably Bichette, and I know I pronounce Mondesi wrong every single time. Never going to change. It's entrenched in my head. And the outfield, you can save some money. You want Soler and you want Duvall in there. If you can't afford them, then probably the best option is going to be throw DJ Stewart in there at 2.3K. Not that tough to do. If you don't want to play Soler or Duvall, you probably go with Mullins. Gardner's probably one of the main guys you want to go with at 2.3K because you actually want to prioritize the positional players. But yeah, that's kind of it. Like the slate is pretty cut and dry. Stroman and Ranger Suarez are the two obvious pitchers that you want to go with. And then you're pretty much picking pieces between Baltimore, Atlanta, and then a few Kansas City spots that are just going to be very heavily owned.
As outfield big spends go, who do you prefer? Well, I mean, I know what you're going to say because you already talked about Sensatella, but Soto versus Harper, I think it's an interesting conversation. And like, again, Judge will be ignored, I think, like for as much as you can be ignored on a 4 or 5 game slate.
Yeah, I mean, also look at Teoscar in there. Not a bad spend up either, but any of those guys are fine. Like if I have a preference, it's probably Judge. Judge is going to be much lower owned. Harper is popping in a lot of whatever projection systems. So anyone who's probably not playing Stroman is going to go with Harper. Man, I'm in line. The excitement is killing me. You think I'm going to get my first one? I've never got one.
I got one time once.
I got close with Brady. Actually, I should have got it. I was driving and I forgot, and I was going around some tough turns, and I looked down and I'm like, oh, I got it, and I pressed buy, and I'd waited 30 seconds too long.
You said I was going around some tough turns, and that's when I took my eyes off the road to look at my cellular device.
Of course. The one with 25, I get my lowest number yet. I got 2,600.
NFT bad beat stories are just as bad as like season-long bad beat stories, I think. I'm a number 11,000. I think I'm going to click out.
How many are there?
25.
Wow, that's not many.
Yeah.
Let's play a quick stacks game that I know you both will enthusiastically join in on.
Yeah, let's play.
Mets, Dean.
Yeah, I hate the ballpark, but Luzardo's give up a ton of homers this year, 2.3 to be precise per 9. And for ballparks that are supposed to protect home runs. So I like home run hunting with the Mets. Give me 3.5 and 4.5. I think they're really interesting for tournaments.
I must be a ballerina because it's 2-2.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy. Yep, that's when we know there's a nonsense full show here, Dean. Braves, Grant.
4 or 5.
Yeah, I think that's correct. Like, but ownership. But yeah, I think that's the correct number.
Baltimore, Dean.
Yeah, we got Mancini back, which is nice. I think Hernandez is okay for what it's worth. Like, we didn't talk about him. He's fine. I will say 3 and 4.
5-5.
All right, KC, Grant.
5-4.
You had a real struggle with this one yesterday, Dean. KC Royals.
I was thinking of Royale with cheese, I believe, and my brain just
It
kind of
tripped you up.
Oh man, now I want McDonald's. Gosh, how good is McDonald's?
Debatable.
Really?
Debatable.
Like,
Well, when you can't eat half the things on the menu, Devin, it's kind of
The things that I can, I wouldn't want.
Well,
Devin,
don't
you're
like an
missing
apple
out on the
pie?
fillet of fish.
Oh, darn.
Okay. Well, first of all, Devin, the French fries are just fantastic.
I mean, it's really hard to mess up French fries.
Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't matter. It's also very hard to make very good French fries, and McDonald's are the best.
I have a French fry take if we have time for it.
Oh, my God. I don't know. I think we might be cutting it close, Dean.
Just, Dean, say it.
If we can just round up all the French fry makers around the country, around the world, we can just round them all up, put them like on a Zoom or whatever, and just say, hey, listen, guys, just put it down for like 45 seconds longer. We'll all be happy with that.
I mean,
Who
it
doesn't like a
depends
crispy fry?
I mean, I sometimes, like, depending on how much salt there is, a little bit mushier is all right. But I mean, In-N-Out, you can order them well done.
Yeah.
That way, they're fresh too. But realistically, they just need to start using beef tallow again. Malcolm Gladwell did an entire podcast on it. Like the
tallow?
Yeah.
Just ask for them to be no unsalted fries, and they'll make them fresh for you.
Well, no, I like the amount of salt they put on it. I don't like how much salt I put on it.
86 the beef tallow.
I don't like how much salt I put on them. Is that what you just said?
I'm not great at gauging it. Plus, I don't have that big tool, so there's too much salt concentration.
You got to pour it in your hand first, so you know the exact amount that you're using.
I mean, plus that's just so much work. You have to open the salt packet and then pour the salt packet.
You know, at the beginning of this show, I thought, how are these guys getting so off the rails? And now here we are talking about how to adequately pour salt on your
First
food.
of all, I think you know that
Devin.
Me and Dean on the same show, automatically, like, we can go through a 2-game slate in a 2-hour time frame.
Well, yeah, I could see that for sure.
Are we getting like a lot of thumbs down for this nonsense?
I haven't checked yet, but undoubtedly it's a record number. Dean, Colorado, where are you playing them?
Not really. You're supposed to play Story versus lefties, I suppose. They have a couple cheap guys up top, and Rogers and Hampson and Crohn's fine. I'm not playing much of it.
Leverage stack.
It is a leverage stack. That's used correctly, and it is a leverage stack.
4-3.
I'll say 2.5, 3.5.
Miami.
Look, one of Means, Suarez, or Luzardo are going to implode.
Yeah, probably. I mean, that's not a bold statement. They're none of them are very good. They're all sort of meh.
Yeah, they're all sort of meh, but they're all like 30% plus owned, and they're all going up against unowned teams.
Yep, that's the point is survival, right? I mean, you're probably not going to win because your pitcher was fabulous today.
Yes, but there's also a decent chance one of them implodes. There's a decent chance one of them ends up with less than 4 points.
Yeah.
Oh, here's one. Toronto that we haven't touched on much.
4-4.
Yeah, I'll say 3.5. No Springer in that lineup still. Bichette leading off for what it's worth. Do people know that like the first number is like a main stack and the second number is like a secondary stack?
It probably is. It deserves credit to be repeated. You know, I don't think we probably mentioned it enough. Yeah, primary versus secondary. That's the first and second numbers. Miami. Dean, did you touch on Toronto?
Yeah, I think I said 3.5 for Toronto. Yeah, so Miami. Like this
1-1.
This is a leverage stack, right?
Yes, but you can get the same amount of leverage going with KC or going with Colorado. Which one by far has the lowest chance of going off for a big game?
Yeah, I mean Miami, but I do like Chisholm and Sanchez as like if you want to pair a couple of those guys, I'm okay with that.
And your quote unquote organic mush earlier was about it's about as organic as a Reese's cup, Dean.
What was it? Cincinnati?
Why do you hate the Reese's cup?
I was betrayed later on in life to find out that they had not just not organic ingredients, but very much processed ingredients. And that was.
Have you ever had the Trader Joe's ones?
Trader Joe's Reese's?
The Trader Joe's
or just
dark
their
chocolate
peanut butter cups. No, I have not.
Oh, fantastic. Highly suggest.
I'll have to check it out. We do have actually still some QQs and just about 4 minutes left, so we should probably maybe just focus on baseball here for a minute.
We also got to promise football, by the way, but like
Antonio Brown and Gallup go for 20 points each.
I like Antonio Brown. I like Antonio Brown as well. He's my favorite player.
All right, I'm off Brown now.
Favorite stack on FanDuel for tonight.
Nice conviction there, Grant.
Baltimore.
Are you playing any one-offs on FanDuel?
Not really. No, I'm not playing FanDuel.
Stan wants to know any Carlos Hernandez.
None.
You can.
You can indeed. They will allow you to enter
Go
a lineup.
Cincinnati instead.
Peter wants to know DK tournaments. Are you playing KC or Atlanta?
Both.
Put in another lineup. Alan wants to know DK Atlanta with Philly.
Not a huge Philly fan. I currently have a lot of Cincinnati.
Could be one way to get different. DK GPP favorite Tampa Bay receiver.
Brown.
Wait, hold on. You said it wasn't as of like 12 seconds ago.
The other Brown.
Who is the other Brown?
I know I'm out of the loop, but hang on. What? Mike wants to know home run picks.
It's going to be Mullins, Benintendi, and DJ Stewart.
Am I participating here?
No. We did not time that.
Nope, keep going, Devin.
Brad Miller is going to homer. Jesus Sanchez is going to homer. I'm going off the board. Brad Miller, Jesus Sanchez, and
Devin, mute Dean. Let's keep going.
Let me take one of these Mets. I'll take the polar bear.
I'm gonna override Grant here. I'm gonna give Dean the little golf clap for getting a little off the board with his home run picks.
And that chalk donkey.
They didn't over for the record. It didn't happen.
Yeah, not yet, but
it didn't do anything.
Shannon wants to know what do we know about this Colton Welker guy for Colorado, a 2K third baseman?
He's the number 8 prospect in their system. I actually went on Fangraphs earlier and looked at him because he is 2K still minimum. Doesn't look like he has much going on. Like I was looking at his minor league numbers, and he's 2K and he's swinging a piece of wood. I'm sure he's professionally trained.
He's a professional hitter.
He's not going to be heavily owned, and he's going up against a chalk pitcher.
And he's going to have a bat at some point tonight in his hand.
He's not supposed to be good. Yeah.
B wants to know, does Grant's hat say Hattie B's or Natty B's, as in National Bohemian Beer?
It says Hattie B's, but also Natty Light or Natty is making, I believe, a vodka now.
Oh, goodness. I'm going to be running right out the door to go grab that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, geez. All right, let's talk some strategy real quick. Last 30 seconds. Grant, hit me with your strategy. Over the field on Senzatella?
Over the field on Senzatella, 100% Baltimore stacks. Double stack them with either the Royals, the Blue Jays, or the Braves.
Dean?
I'm not playing Senzatella. That's my edge in the slate because Grant is, and that's dead money.
Nailed it.
And he is going to crush.
Grant, did you want to touch on your prize picks real quick before we close out?
Oh yeah, prize picks. Who did I pick? I believe I had Vlad over 8.5. It just seems like a low number because Vlad is good at things, and Aaron Judge over 7.
Nicely done. All right, Dean, you want to take us home?
I don't know if I'm being trolled, but Derek in the chat says he prefers mushy or fries. Who prefers mushy or fries?
It depends on the fry.
How is a mushy fry? What fry is positive when it's mushy?
There's certain ones depending on how it's salted, and also changer is what sauce you're dipping it in.
Like bad
certain
fries?
Sauce goes better with different things.
Hot sauce?
There it is.
I mean, depending on what kind of I do love fries and a good buffalo that has a decent amount of heat, but is also super fatty.
We need to order Dean a whole bunch of soggy fries with like extra hot sauce on them for the next time he loses a bit.
Idea. Yeah, I'm not going to wager. I'm not going to lock myself into that bet. Like, for real, I will not. I just won't do it.
I'm taking the ball. I'm going home.
I'm no fun, man. When it comes to hot sauce, it's just not happening. Hey, following us at 6:20, it's going to be crunch time. If you guys are premium members, 6:20, check that out. Good times for sure. And then 7:30.
Correct.
7:30.
Yep.
7:30 tonight. Is that STL cards talking? Who's talking?
Join in Blender, Jordan Cooper.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, you get to the true play whoever you want.
Yeah, and it truly is an amazing player, whoever you want, football slate. It really feels like a slate where there's so many different guys that can score touchdowns, like a Tampa. Like, it could be one of 8 dudes. So, have some fun tonight playing the showdown. I guess there weren't any showdown questions, Devin. We said we can throw.
Well, we had the Tampa Bay receiver. Other than that, no, not much.
Whatever. They'll be tuning in later on tonight.
Plenty of time. Plenty of time.
Blender. Yeah, and who knows? There might be some surprise news coming out. Probably. Yeah, we'll see. Stay tuned on that. Enjoy your football tonight. Enjoy your baseball tonight. That was Devin. That was Grant. This was baseball. We're out of here. Oh, DQ.